Good afternoon, friends. Myself, Dr. Kushal Bhattacharya. Today, I should discuss on dynamic load which is acting on a bearing. That is different dynamic loads. Different dynamic loads. That is the fatigue loading. Different fatigue dynamic load acting on a bearing, and how to tackle. That means not a single load is acting on the bearing. That is in a cyclic way, the loads are acting on the bearing. In a cyclic way, the loads are acting on the bearing, and in that condition, how to tackle the problem and how to design the problem. So let us see how, and for that how to calculate the equivalent bearing load for that. So let us see how does it operate. So let us see how does it works basically. Now first we see, if for example if a load P1 radial load acting radial load of, for example, 100 Newton. These sort of problems are you can be dealt by dividing a complete, that means the total cycle, that it consists of three types of loads. That is P1 1000 Newton, that is the shaft is moving at a speed of 250 rpm, and P1, and that radial load is applied for 25% of the time, and P2 load, that is 2500 Newton acting for the speed of the shaft acting at 350 rpm is acting for 50% of the time, and P3 700 Newton 7000 Newton acting when the shaft is rotating at a speed of 195 rpm, it is acting for 25% of the time. Now how to deal a complete work cycle, how to deal with a complete cycle, so work cycle. Now the major way is to divide the complete work cycle into smaller elements, such that during that element the radial load and the speed remains same. So the first basic step is to divide the total work cycle, divide the total work cycle into x number of smaller elements, and in that smaller elements there should be equal axial load and the equal rpm. Now how this is done, let us see how this sort of problems have been done. For example, if you see, if the load P1 P2 is broken, if we broke it into x components, P3 ... Px of different types of loads can act on the bearing. Similarly, P1 can run at N1 rpm, P2 can run at N2 rpm, and P3 can run at N3 rpm and up to Nx rpm. So at each slot, and when you break this in each slot, in this slot the load P1 and N1 remains same, the load P2 and N2 remains same, P3 and N3. So in this way the total thing is acted. Now we know that for the life of a bearing, is given by this formulation: L is equals to C by P cube into 10 to the power 6 revolutions, where L is the life of the bearing, where L is given as the life of the bearing, P is the equivalent load of the bearing, and C is the dynamic load carrying capacity of the bearing, 10 to the power 6. Now how to deal when there is not a single force, there is three forces are there, P1, P2, P3. Now how to deal these sort of problems? First, as we've seen that we have broken it into x components, we first assume that the P1 load is the only load which is acting on it. There is no other load. In that condition, what should be the life of the bearing? So the life of the bearing is given by simply L is equals to C by P1 cube into 10 to the power 6, no problem. Now this is the bearing life. If there is only P1 load is there, if there is only P1 load of 1000 Newton radial load is there, and which is moving at 250 rpm, so the life of the bearing is given by N1 in million number of revolutions. There is no problem. But if we want to find out what is the life consumed in one rpm, in one cycle, so it is basically for consumed for what is the life consumed in 1 rpm or one cycle, it is given by 1 by L1, and this should be equals to P1 cube C1 cube and this should be into 10 to the power 6. This is a life consumed by 1. And if there are n1 life, if there are n1 life is given, so n1 life consumed, that is in n1 life, so the in n1 when that is the load is acting for n1, when the speed is n1, so what should be n1 rpm it has moved, so the speed that the life consumed should be this one n1. So the life consumed should be n1. Similarly, the life of consumed by the axial load p2 should be given by n2 is equals to, when we assume that only p2 is acting, there is no other load is acting, there is no other separate load is acting, then the life is given by L2 is equals to, then the life is given by simply L2 is equals to C by P2 cube into 10 to the power 6. So one revolution in 1 RPM, what is the life consumed? This is the total life consumed first crack when the first crack appears. So in one revolution, what is the life consumed? So it is just 1 by L, and it will get the form like this. You will get the form like this. Similarly, P2 into N2 by not C1, dynamic load bearing capacity should be same. That is P1 cube, C1 cube into N2 by 10 to the power 6. So this is the life consumed. Similarly, the life consumed by P3 axial load is given by P3 cube N cube by C cube into 10 to the power 6. So this is the life consumed by separately the 3 axial loads. Now what happened if we write in this manner? Now if you write in this manner, total, that is the total life consumed, that is the total life consumed can be total life consumed and is given by, the total life consumed is basically given by this, that is the load when it is acting P1 cube by C1 cube into 10 to the power 6 into N1 plus P2 cube into N2. The C1 should be same, dynamic load bearing capacity should be same, C cube into 10 to the power 6 plus P3 cube into N3 by C cube into 10 to the power 6. Now this is the life of the bearing. This is the life of the complete work cycle. This is the life of the complete work cycle. Now if we convert an equivalent load, if we calculate that equivalent load, so equivalent load formulation should be equivalent load, we can write like this: equivalent load will take equivalent load by N by C into 10 to the power 6. So that is given by what is called an equivalent load, which is given by P into N. Now what happens basically, you see this equivalent load, now we are assuming that the total the total cycle has been completed by this equivalent load PE, and it takes n number of revolutions to cause the same life, to cause the failure of the bearing. To cause the failure of the bearing, what each and every individual loads cost. So equivalent load causes the same failure effect as caused by P1, P2 and P3, as caused by P1, P2 and P3 for different RPMs. So we just equate these two factors, and we get that equivalent load PE is given by P1 cube into N1 plus P2 cube into N2 plus P3 cube into N3 by N. Now what is this N basically? This N is basically, this is N. Now by N. Now what is this N? Basically this N is that this N takes place for different values, because this N is equals to for different values of N1 plus N2 plus N3. So we write this for different values of N1 plus N2 plus N3. So ultimately it takes the form like this: summation of 1 to N Pi Ni sigma is equals to I is equals to 1 to n, and by summation of I is equals to 1 to n Ni. So this is the expression, this is the desired expression which is required. This is for calculating the design for cyclic load and speeds. So this is the expression, this is basically the expression, that is basically the expression for equivalent load. This is basically the expression for equivalent load, which is given by summation of I is equals to 1 to n Pi Ni by summation of I is equals to 1 to n given Ni. So this is a desired expression of the equivalent load. Equivalent load. Now this is the expression for the equivalent load. P cube is given by summation of I is equals to 1 to n Pi Ni by summation of I is equals to 1 to n Ni. So this is the desired expression of which we have been studying all about. So whenever a problem, that is whenever you are given different types of loads, suppose 3 loads, then we have to calculate and the separate RPM are given, like for this sort of problems, P1 N1 and 25% P2 and applying for N2 and 50%. So if we put this value over here, P1 N1 and the percentage of time it applies the load, so and secondly we will go for P2 N2, and thirdly we P3 N3 for the percentage of time, and N1 plus N2 plus N3. Now this is a slot, this is the expression when we basically get when the time step is equally spaced, when the actual loads are applied at an equal interval, but when the equal, but what in some cases the actual loads are not applied at equal intervals, then we have to go for this sort of expression. That is equivalent load is calculating, but it is a variation with time, it varies with time but not equally varying with time. For that reason we should go for this expression where equivalent load is given by 0 to n P cube dn by 0 to n dn, where that is a variation of n, that is actually when the P cube varies, that is equivalent load we are getting expression of equivalent load when load applies not in equal time space, but it varies with time. So this is the desired expression. We go for the desired, we integrate this form and we get this desired expression, that is 0 to n1 0 to n, we could get the value. So this is the way. So this is up to this. So if you like by way of expressing the any subject, or if you like the way of lectures, you could just put a thumb mark to it, and you could subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos like this, for explanations like this. Thank you. Have a good day.